Hey there. Welcome back to Abundance in Any Circumstance. This is Kate Phillips, and we are on truth number two, which is your abundance is not determined by the economy. You get to create your own economy. Now, what do I mean by that? Obviously, there's something called the economy, and that is comprised of things like the gross domestic product, the unemployment rate, the stock market, the housing market, um, interest rates, bank lending, the availability of it, geopolitical happenings such as the pandemic that's happening right now while I'm filming this, which obviously has had a tremendous impact on the economy. However, you can create your own circumstance. And when you look at the economy and realize it is nothing but a circumstance and that you can create your own circumstances, now that may mean a new strategy, it may mean you were an employee and now you're going to start a business. It may mean that you had a business and now you've got to pivot that into something else. But there is always something that you can do in order to empower yourself and make that pivot. It's it's a if you're on your way to Mexico to meet a buddy and you're going to spend a week together on vacation in Mexico and you're changing planes in South Carolina and your next plane is canceled. The next flight is canceled. Well, I guess during the pandemic, you probably wouldn't be going to Mexico, but let's say there's no pandemic and you're grounded in South Carolina. Do you call up your buddy and say, hey, I'm sorry, my flight was canceled. I'm going to just spend the week in South Carolina. This was a great idea. So sorry, maybe next year. No, you're not if you want that friend to still be your friend. You're going to figure out a new strategy. Take another flight, take a different airline, take a train if you have to, rent a car. Maybe not, but you're going to find another strategy to get there. And I was on a recent Zoom call with Wren, WREN, Women in Real Estate Network, and they had each of the chapter leaders share about what they were doing. And these are all women who are successfully investing in real estate and helping other women to be successful in that. And I was amazed just a few weeks into this, every single one of them had already like, here's how we're changing things and this is what's working, this is what's not working, here's how there were a lot of changes in financing, like, the previous sources of financing are not available, so now we've lined up new ones, or the bank lenders are becoming very tight. It's difficult to get approved, so now we're working with seller financing. I mean, all of them had ways that they were going to profit in the new economy. And it was just such a great example of what I'm talking about here, of creating your own economy. So we tend to give circumstances too much power in our lives and forgetting that we get to create those circumstances. We get to create our own economy. We get to create our own environment. We get to create the energy that we live in every day. And we get to create our own outcomes. So it is definitely time to take back control. If you've given perhaps even just your mindset, this idea that like, oh my gosh, like none of us can do anything until things get back to normal. Unfortunately, hate to say it, but it could be a very long time. It could be years until we have the same economy that we did 6 months ago. So it is definitely not time to sit back and wait, but it's time to be proactive. And what your economy is determined by is your ability to give and receive. Give value, and then you've got to have some sort of mechanism or business that allows you to receive in return. Your economy is also determined by the power, your ability to have power in the present moment. And flashback from the last video here. And and so if you're a little bit stuck, it may be time to stop and look at, what are my skills? What are my experiences? What are my assets, financial or otherwise, that I have that I can offer? What sort of help do people need right now? What can I create? And during the Great Recession, I found myself literally like no income, no credit, no, my business that I was launching wasn't happening. I just walked out of a wonderful 8.5 year career in real estate, but I had moved. I was now an hour away from my old neighborhood and decided I did not want to resurrect that. And I found all kinds of ways to create value, all kinds of ways to create income. In probably a year or 18 months, I found about 10 new ways, which, by the way, was too many. A little focus might have been better, but I was experimenting and trying to figure out what was next, and saying yes to every opportunity and meeting every need that I could meet. And I found all kinds of ways to make money. Instead of being a financial coach, I started being a financial writer, and I had been promoting my coaching business through writing, and now I was getting jobs doing marketing writing and article writing and financial writing for other people. I created workshops. I partnered with other people. While I was doing my marketing work, I ran into people who needed help with social media or needed help with websites. Like, can you build a website? And I'm thinking, well, I did my own WordPress site. Sure. So I said yes to every opportunity and found lots of ways to start creating my own economy, even in the middle of the Great Recession. And even though I had walked away from a previous very successful business and was creating from scratch, I was able to do that. So I know that you can as well. And it was funny, right when I sat down to film this, I got a text from a friend, and she was somebody I met during the Great Recession, and she had been wiped out, utterly wiped out, was going through business failure, bankruptcy, divorce. I won't go into her details, but she was literally just starting from scratch during that time. But she had a great mindset. She had great drive and ambition and motivation to succeed, and she needed to succeed. She was all of a sudden like single mom of 2 or 3 kids, and had a household to support, and so she absolutely found a way. And she just texted me this. We were texting back and forth about how we were doing, and she said, "I really do believe that times of adversity is when we find our greatest opportunities." And I know that when you find a way to succeed and to thrive in a challenging economy, that gives you the momentum to succeed even more when the circumstances become more favorable. So take this on as a challenge and look at what you can create in your own economy. I'll be back tomorrow with truth number 3. And remember, you are powerful, you are prosperous, and you are free. Bye-bye.